Hello, everyone. Here we are on a Thursday. I'm so excited to be back here again with you. This is a special time for us to join us. Normally, it's on a Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, 9:30 a.m. Pacific. But I told you yesterday that we were having a fun extra bonus event today, and so I'm so excited. I get to talk to one of my friends. I hope she's okay with me calling her a friend here. She's a wonderful designer that I've known for a while. And I've absolutely just loved following her and chatting with her and working on her beautiful patterns along the way. She has so many of them. Hi, Chris. Great to see you. So yeah, come on in, say hello, let us know where you're watching from, what you're working on. Thank you so much for joining me today and letting me come and chat with you. It's been a very long day so far for me. I've had a ton of meetings, so this is really fun to kind of get to chat with some friends here and just share all about crochet and things that are going on. Okay, so without further ado, let me bring in our special guest. I'm sure you know who she is, and if you don't, I don't know how that happened, but you're going to want to know who this is. Hi, Cindy. Great to see you too. This is my friend Ashley from Heart Hook Home. Hi, Ashley.
Hello, hello.
So Ashley was on with us live a couple weeks ago, I guess. We were talking about the Galileo new colors that had come out, but we have Ashley back again because we're doing something a little different over here. I told you we were trying some new things this year, and we are going to have a featured designer every month. We want you guys to learn all about new designers. They're designers that we love, the designers that, they're using our yarns, and it's just phenomenal what they're coming up with. So we want to make sure that you guys know about it. And Ashley was kind enough to be our first featured designer, which we are so happy about. So if you're signed up for our email newsletter, you probably got an email. I think it went out on the 15th, all about Ashley and the new pattern that she actually has behind her, the rose cardigan, and just about Ashley in general. If you don't know Ashley, this is Ashley, and she is awesome. And there's so much I could say about her, but let's just stop for a minute and let's just talk about how you got started in crochet. We'll move forward, and then we'll talk even more about what you've got going on. So how did you get started in crochet?
Honestly, it's kind of a funny story. I would say that I was really more crafty my entire life. When I was 5, my mom taught us how to use a sewing machine, all of us there. I have an older sister and a younger brother, so we're all pretty crafty. And I think that honestly that with my mom being as crafty as she was and teaching me, how designs go together or how to put something together in order to get a desired result. I think that really helps with my designing now. But my sister knits, and so I tried knitting first, and I just couldn't, I don't know. It's just the two. I couldn't get it to work for me. And my little brother crocheted. So he taught me how to crochet. So now I can knit. It's just not my favorite thing to do. Maybe if I did it more and I was faster at it, but crochet is my jam and I absolutely love it.
I can agree with that. I too am both a knitter and crocheter. Crochet is my go-to and my wheelhouse, and I definitely can understand it better and just get it better. Knitting, unless it's just plain stockinette or a garter stitch, I got to sit and I have to think. Right. And I've got to use my lifelines because I always end up having to rip things out because I've screwed it up or something. And maybe that's why I like crochet so much too, because if you make a mistake, you just rip out. You don't have to worry about the live stitches that you have with knitting. So I find that really comforting, I guess.
Yeah.
And everything else. It's just, I don't know. I don't have as much stress to have to rip it out.
So much faster too. I can do, I can get so much more accomplished in such a short amount of time compared to knitting.
Yes. Yes. Well, and you are I don't know, you have the fastest hands ever, because if you don't follow Ashley, you will see how many projects she is cranking out all the time. We know she works ahead of time, right? So it's not like she has an idea and it comes out tomorrow, but in the amount of time that she has between designs, she's making 4 or 5 different versions of it to test out different yarns, to test out slightly different constructions, just to make sure that it's perfect for when it comes out for us. And I really appreciate that. So
good. I'm glad. I have to do several versions because the first one I do of any pattern, I always hate the first one. But I know what I need to change on it in order to make it perfect for the next time. And then I usually make a third one just to test the theory with a different yarn or a different fiber or whatever. Yeah.
Well, and I love like the rose cardigan behind you. So that is a striped cardigan, but you also did it in a solid color because
Yeah.
not everybody likes stripes. Like it's not everybody's thing. Typically,
Right.
I'm not a stripe person.
Yeah.
I mean,
And these
I love
colors
that,
are so
but
loud. I love it, but they're
right,
just so loud, and
right,
even like I would wear that with a white something underneath to go out to a fancy dinner, but
right,
this is just something that I wouldn't wear all like to Walmart, you know what I mean?
right.
But the shorter one, it's just a much more everyday cardigan type of thing, and it has pockets, and I just, anything that has pockets is.
Anything that has
Yeah,
pockets is so much
that's the two
better.
things that people always ask for is, does it have pockets and can I add a hood? Those are the two things that everybody wants to add to every
I
garment.
will say pockets are top on my list, like, especially, like, even going to get dresses, I'm always looking for my pockets. Gotta have
Exactly.
pockets to put stuff in, so, yes,
Exactly.
always
Yeah.
wonderful. So, I know the past couple designs that you've had come out well, I shouldn't say that because 'cause there's been ones in between, but you've been doing a lot of garments, and so, are you a garment lover primarily? Do you like other things? Are you challenging yourself with these garments? Or what's,
Yes.
like, your favorite thing to be making?
I do love garments. I feel like I said about my mom teaching me the construction and how to put things together to get a desired result. That's really my jam, is to be challenged in, okay, I've done this, let's try this. But really what my wheelhouse is for, it's creating things that are both gorgeous but remarkably easy to crochet, because
Mhm.
it's about the sense of accomplishment and it's about having a beautiful end piece. It's not necessarily having something that's really complicated that, which is great at times, but for me it's more of a keep it simple, the KISS method, right? Keep it simple.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, just to have something that you can be proud of that wasn't too difficult but maybe looks more difficult than it was,
Right.
and one thing that I've thought about a lot recently is that whenever it's almost clockwork that when I wear the first time I wear a new garment out, I almost get complimented on it the
Mhm.
first time I wear it out. And that is also a great feeling, especially if you're,
Yeah.
you're new to crocheting garments and you haven't really done a lot. And then you go out and you get complimented on it. You're like, thanks, I made it. It's a great feeling. So yeah.
Yeah. So this one is the summer Sultan cardigan that you had done. It's over on the website. We'll make sure to get a link in. So I had it on this morning. I had to take my kids over to my mom's house so she could watch them today. And we're driving in the car, and my youngest goes, "Mommy, I really love your sweater." I said, "Oh, thanks, honey." He goes, "Did you make that?" And I mean, it really is. Even from somebody who knows, like, he knows that I make stuff all the time and he sees
Right.
me making stuff all the time. But even just to hear it from somebody like, "Oh, did you make that?" Like, and that they like it. I love that too. When you're out and
Yeah.
about, make sure you tell people that you like their stuff too. It makes
Yeah,
everybody feel good.
exactly.
But yeah, I love that about your garments too, is that it is, I don't want, it's not easy, you know what I mean? But it's not super hard, but it is just the right amount of structure into pieces and thinking about how the seaming is playing off of things, if it even needs seaming.
Yeah. A
And
lot of
I
times I try not to have seams at all.
Right. And I like too that a lot of times your patterns come with different options. Again, going back to the rose cardigan, the solid color versus the stripes, you have pockets versus no pockets, you have super long duster versus shorter hip length
Yeah.
cardigan. Like there's so many options, and you're not just saying, "Oh yeah, you can do them." Like you're telling people within the patterns, "Hey, here's where you're going to want to stop if you're doing this. If you're doing this, do here." You're
Right.
really guiding people along in their journey to make them a better crocheter as well, which I really appreciate and love because I'm not a designer, but I do know that I don't like cropped things. So when you add to your patterns just that little extra bit of detail, like, "Hey, I suggest going this many more rows, or this many rows gives you this many inches," it
Yeah.
really helps to create something that you're going to love and wear all the time.
Yeah, and I feel like with that, with the options, it helps you get an understanding. If you wanted to wing something yourself or freehand it yourself, I try to incorporate those into different patterns in different ways so that, if you were to make a bunch of my patterns, that you would learn a lot of different tips and tricks along the way to help you, grow your own skills.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I love it so much. So I know this cardigan, I don't know if the original was done in this, but mine is done in Katelyn.
Yeah, it
What
was.
the original was? Okay.
Yeah.
And then the one behind you is done in Swish, right? No, Shine.
Shine
Shine.
Spirit.
Done
Yeah.
in Shine.
Yep.
So do you have a favorite We Crochet yarn?
Ugh, that's really hard. It depends on what you're talking about because, every year I have a different series. So in 2020, I did a cloth series and I used Dishy cotton for all of those washcloths. And then last year in 2021, I did a household series, which was mostly, that's my other passion. I love designing garments, but then I also love doing things that are useful. So I like to use my skills or my craft to do things that either make life easier or prettier, I guess is the end goal, right? But yeah, for that whole series last year, I used Dishy as well. This year, I'm doing a car series, and most of the things that I made have been using Dishy. I cannot wait for you to see this month's series.
I don't think I know what this one is.
Uh-huh.
I don't think I know what this one is. I think I'm going to be surprised.
Oh my goodness, I am so excited. I ordered some very special things for it. And honestly, it's kind of a bigger project. This year, 2022, I'm doing all about cars and things for your car. And this one is going to be so amazing. I don't know if I'm going to get it done in time because I'm going on a short vacation with my boys right when it's due. So if I can get it done beforehand, then that will be August. If I can't get it done by the time we leave, then it'll be September's. But it is absolutely amazing. You're going to love it.
No, we just
so I guess my answer to your question is that I love Dishy. For everyday use. Honestly, actually, I have this hat pattern. I'm going to show you. I probably shouldn't, but because it's a teaser. But I've got this little bucket hat coming out today or tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow's my birthday. So, and it's actually also Heart Hakum's birthday because I decided 6 years ago, I think it was 6, that I was going to change over because I used to have a coupon blog, right? I used to be a coupon, one of those extreme couponing things. And then when that kind of went south, I switched over to crochet because I had just learned from my brother a couple years before and I was really getting into it. And I thought, you know what, this is what I want to do. So I switched over and I decided to do it on my birthday so that I could celebrate with the blog. And so, yeah, I'm going to have some kind of sale or something tomorrow. But yeah, I'm probably going to publish this one tomorrow. I've got one. This is using Dishy as well. This is mine. And then I've got one for my younger son and one for my older son as well. So we're going to go to the park and get pictures of that this afternoon. So yeah, I think Dishy. I would say Dishy. Honestly, though, this Shine Sport, I love the way that this feels, the texture of it, because it really is. It's got a great sheen to it and it got a great drape to it. My other favorite would be Brava Worsted. It's just I mean, it's such a great staple to have, and especially in those huge skeins. Like I have this, I'm calling it a family GAN. It's a huge blanket, right? And it's been a process. This thing is like 110 inches wide. So the entire family can sit underneath it when you're watching a movie. And it's also very short. So it's just great for sitting on the couch and things, but that uses Brava Worsted and it's ginormous. It's huge. It's actually, I don't know if you can't really see it very well, but it's got that dark purple. I think it's eggplant. And there's the dark gray and the light gray. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So I've only got 3 rows left. So I'm.
Oh my God. Oh, you're almost there.
I can see the end.
Yeah, so we do have the Brava 500 that are like the huge skeins of yarn, and then we just have the regular Bravas. And I think Brava's great too, because now we have the Brava Tweed, we have the Brava Speckle, we have the Brava Stripes, we've got the regular Brava, we've got a Brava Sport, we've got a Brava Bulky. Like, you fall in love with Brava and you've got so many options to it. And Dishy is phenomenal as well. I mean, it's the go-to for making washcloths and bags and totes and baskets and hats, and it just goes on and on.
And it's seriously the best cotton. It really is. I mean, of all the cottons I've tried, this has the best sheen to it, has the best feel to it. It doesn't shed and it doesn't shrink over much, it's cotton, so it's going to shrink a little bit and take that into account, when you're designing things or using that. But yeah, it's my favorite.
Yeah, I definitely love it too. It's really great. And thanks for loving our yarn. We appreciate that.
Yes, of course. Thanks for having it.
So I know we were just talking about what's kind of coming up on your plate yet. So you have some more car series items. So if you haven't checked it out, we'll find the link and we'll add it in here for you guys to go back and you can follow along for the whole year of what's been made. There's a lot of great usable things, perfect for gift giving as you're getting closer to the holidays or making for yourself. So be sure to check that out. You've also been doing a new pattern every month, not the car series. Yeah, how's that been going for you?
Stressful. Honestly, it hasn't been too bad. I've Yeah, I mean, I set a goal for myself in December. I'm going to put one new wearable pattern out every month for 2022. And honestly, it's going pretty well. Like I have August's sweater completed, and it's a men's sweater. I'm calling it the Denzel because there was a gentleman named Denzel that asked if I could design a thinner weight yarn sweater for men, a top down. So I did, and that will be ready to publish next week. So that's my August, and I'm already starting on September. I'm using Swish DK for the September one in black and white. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's a houndstooth style vest. Very excited about that one. And then October, I'm planning a hooded poncho because everybody needs hoods and everybody needs ponchos. And yeah, and then November and December, I'm working on those, but I'm always at least a month or two ahead because you have to give your testers time to test the pattern, right? And what I love about this, I've tried to do like very complex pattern one month, and or maybe not complex, but more detailed as far as designing goes. And then the next month I'll do like a one size fits most, like my Ruana pattern that I did. So it's like very complicated and then an easier one, and then a complicated one and then an easier one. It's easier to crank them out that way, I think.
Hey, whatever works. We just love it when you keep coming out with the patterns. I mean, they're all so great. I love them. I don't know. I have a problem, guys, when it comes to Ashlea's patterns, because like everyone I see, I'm like, oh, I really want to make that. How am I going to fit it in? Like,
it's like
I'm
a running joke.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, I'll put this one aside just so I can make this one. And they do work up very quickly. Like, I think this one only took me like 2 weeks to do. And I'm not working on it a ton. I'm only working on it maybe an hour, 2 hours at night, and then over the weekend with work and kids and everything. And so, yeah, I love it. You got a quick new make and you just feel good and you look good too. So I totally love that. That's so exciting. I love that you're coming out with all these new patterns. I mean, don't kill yourself over them and all the work, but we're loving it.
Yeah, so I did kind of overcommit myself this year. I mean, I'm going to do it and it's going to be fine and it's going to be great and everything's lovely. But I've decided that for next year, instead of doing a garment every month, I'm going to do a new in-depth video tutorial on some of my older, most popular patterns. One of the patterns that really, the first one that I had that kind of went viral was that egg apron one,
Yes.
And people they question how to attach the pockets, and so that's one pattern that I have really needed to do a video tutorial for a long time. So that's the very first one I'm going to do. So I'm going to be doing a lot of my most popular older patterns that don't already have video tutorials, or just revamping. And 2023 is going to be all about tutorials. And I'm excited about that.
How long ago was that egg apron?
It was in 2017. It was only a few months after I started the blog. And I remember at the time, I never thought it was going to take off. And it's the most popular thing I've ever done. And I think of all the things, it always ends up being something small or something that's not silly, but that you wouldn't expect, unexpected, I suppose. Yeah. It's always those that just take off. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know that's how I found you, was the egg and everything. And then I was like, oh, guess we're staying around here. Speaking of video tutorials, though, I do want to tell everybody that you do have a video podcast over on YouTube. If you're not watching on YouTube, it's over on YouTube. It's the Heart Hook Home channel. And you were doing lives on Facebook.
Yeah.
Very often. I mean, it was pretty regular. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
And then you decided to go over to YouTube. So do you want to talk about that and what people can find in your podcast?
Yeah, I was doing a live every Thursday at 7:00 p.m. And I did that for 3 years or so, something like that. Yeah. And then my mom ended up getting breast cancer. So I was going with her to all of her chemo appointments and all of her oncology appointments and everything else. And it was just too much to continue doing the lives every week. So I started, counting them back a little bit. And I was doing like once a month or as often as I could. And it just kind of got, I don't know, without the routine of it and without the schedule of it, it just kind of stopped, and that was sad. But on the YouTube channel, I figured, on YouTube, anybody can find that. Anybody can watch it. And I know, if you're not on Facebook, that's okay. Like you can go find it here too, or be notified when a new one comes out. And so on the podcast, I think I started that in December as well. So every other Friday, there's a new episode, and it's 20 to 30 minutes. It just depends. And I've talked about several in-depth topics. One of them was gauge. That's probably my favorite podcast episode I did or I've done so far is the one about gauge, because we talk about everything that goes into that and how to adjust it, what it means, and why it's so important.
Right.
But yeah, I've had special guests on. I had my sister once. I had my mom
Okay.
once. I'm going to have my brother, I'm sure, at some point, because
Nice.
he taught me how to crochet, right? But yeah, so now it's kind of turned into almost like the old lives where I show off what I'm working on, or what's going on in my head and what's coming out next. And I like to talk about how to design things or why I'm doing things a certain way. I think that it helps, again, build everyone's craft and gain some confidence and learn why things are the way they are, or how we are doing things differently to get a different result.
Yeah, no, I totally love it, because it's kind of like that insider look from the designer perspective. And, it's kind of like sharing industry secrets, but not really, because not everybody's going to design, but it's nice to know the behind the scenes of it so that everything starts to make more sense while you're working and everything.
Yeah.
There's a comment here that I want to make sure we just call out. Kathy is saying video tutorials are so helpful. I always question if I'm reading the pattern correctly. And, that's true all the time, because in crochet, which is a great thing and also a challenging thing, is that yes, we have standard terminology, but that doesn't mean it's always a standard way to do it. Or sometimes we make up a little variation on things. And so, yeah, video tutorials are always great to make sure you're doing it exactly the way it needs to be done for the pattern. And if you haven't watched Ashlea's tutorial videos, they're great. They're phenomenal. I don't know what kind of zoom you use on that, but it is like the perfect amount of zooming in, that it's not like too close, but it's not too far away. Like, I don't know. I always find it's one of my go-to for when I need help with whatever I'm working on. Like, I'll never forget, I did, what was the Ruana called that had the Solomon's knot down the middle of the back?
Oh, yeah. Come on, I want a Ruana.
Yes. And so, I don't know, I had done Solomon's knot before, but for some reason, my brain just was not like working and figuring it out. And I know that was a tutorial I had to watch a couple times. Every time, like, I'd have to go pick it up again. And it made it so much easier, because sometimes reading it and seeing it are two different things. And so I love having that option. And so I think that's so great that next year you're going to be pairing them up with all of your older, or, your most popular patterns, because I don't know how you're going to choose that, though, because there's so many.
Oh, I know. And I almost thought, if I have like a poll or something, like what videos would you want? Like have just me, I can compile a list of my most popular patterns and then have you guys vote on which ones you want tutorials on, or, so I'm really excited about that. Just keeping everything updated and fresh, and as like to keep my pictures as clear as possible. I feel like my picture game has really gotten better over the last years or so, so going back to those older ones and just revamping, that's all focus next year. That's not saying I'm not going to put out new patterns next year. I'm still going to put some wearables out. It's just not going to be 12 of them. So.
Right. It's not going to be the major focus. You're going to give yourself some breathing room.
Exactly.
So I was hoping that maybe we could play a little game of like this or that, and we could just see what your favorites are between the two. And maybe everybody else who's watching live or on the replay could play along with us and let us know what your this or that is in the comments. How's that sound? Okay. So my first that is, do you prefer the beach or the mountains?
Oh, the mountains.
The mountains?
Yeah.
I'm totally a beach girl over here. I think I've gone to the beach already this summer like 5 times, and we're going at least once more, maybe twice.
I don't like swimming very much.
Oh, I don't go in the ocean.
See, I'll walk on the beach, but I would prefer to be, and also I don't enjoy being hot. So,
okay. Yeah. Now, again, too, I wonder, just because, you're the middle of the country, I'm the East Coast. So like for me, I can still go to the mountains. Mountains are really close to me as well. But, we've always had the Atlantic Ocean right there. So we've kind of always just gone there. So I would have to say I'm definitely a beach person. It looks like everybody's kind of mixed here between mountains and beach. Yeah. So there you go. Beach all the way. Lots of sun on my skin. Please make sure you wear your suntan lotion, high SPF.
Right.
Just a little disclaimer. Okay. This or that. Cool colors or warm colors?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I think, I don't know. It depends on what I'm doing, because my favorite all-time color is the crusty mustard, like that color.
Gosh.
When you eat a hot dog and your mustard gets dry.
Yes.
I know that sounds like not appetizing at all, but that's my favorite
It is
color.
the perfect color.
That is. I'm really earth tones. I like that, that baby poop green color. I
Yep.
really like that color. I like the mustardy color. So I guess that would be, I don't know, earth tones. How about that?
Yeah, that works.
Answer.
I'm definitely more of a cool person, but I do like some of the warmer colors. Like, I agree, the crusty mustard yellow is absolutely phenomenal. It is one of my favorite colors, and I love the poop green, like
Right.
all that in there. Like, I love all that. The only kind of color that is not my jam is red. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't do a lot of red. I just don't.
I don't know what it is about red, but
Unless it's my nails, then I'll do
yes,
that.
yes, red on nails, yes. Okay, so when you're working on a project, do you prefer podcast, like listening to a podcast, or watching a TV or movie? And I know it depends on project, but overall, what is like your go-to if you're going to sit down to a project?
I listen to audiobooks like my life depends on it. Honestly. Starting, how Goodreads does their yearly reading challenges. I set mine, I don't remember if it was 2019 or 2020, but I read like 104 books that year. But, when you're sitting there and you're crocheting, I feel like sitting there and crocheting, it's almost like a movie in your head that you can create, your own environment as far as the book goes, while you're working on something else. And that's kind of the reason I like to keep my crochet projects a little bit more simple as well, without a lot of counting, because if I'm paying attention to what's being read to me, or listening to something, then I could just zoom, 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 zoom without having to count too much or think too much about it.
Right. Yeah. Julia also says that she's in audiobooks all day.
All day.
I'm definitely a podcast person. I should have included audiobooks in that, because I do like an audiobook. Because you can't really read and crochet at the same time. I mean, I guess maybe on a Kindle, but that's a lot. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah.
I'm lucky that I can like be on a treadmill or something and crochet at the same time if I just need
I
a
know.
little movement for the day. But I love the podcast too, because it's something that you can do and listen to, but you don't have to really focus on it. Like if you're watching something and you might miss any of the details. So I'm definitely a podcast person when I'm working, unless I'm knitting. Like I have a knit top I'm working on. You have to do like yarn overs and decreases and make ones. I'm like, yep, nope, nothing. Can't, gotta focus.
Nope, focus. Yeah.
Okay, so this or that. Ice cream for dessert or pie/cake?
I don't do cake. I don't know why. Not even on birthdays. Like, no, I just don't do cake at all. I don't do donuts. I don't do sweets. And it's not like any particular reason. I just don't like sweet foods very much. So
I wish I had that.
I love me some cheesecake, some plain cheesecake, because it's not overly sweet. If I do, I guess I would say ice cream on that one. Yeah. I'm not very good at this, am I? I always have different answers.
Oh, it's fine. We're just having fun. Especially in the summer, I love ice cream. My son, when we go down to the shore, we get ice cream every night. It's like our treat for the week. We don't do it normally, so maybe not every night, but we try to go. And even if we go to the same place, he will try a different flavor every single time we go. I'm like, don't I like one? Like, I feel like I have like when you go to a restaurant and you have like your favorite thing that you get at that restaurant every time. That's how I am with ice cream too. And he's always like, oh no, I want to try this one. And I'm like, okay, go, good for you.
Yeah.
Kathy is saying, so far, I agree with Ashley's responses. Joy loves cheesecake as well. Teresa says, especially Bluebell ice cream. I don't think I've ever had Bluebell ice cream. But yeah. Okay. Last one. Which do you prefer? A text or an email, like a written message, or a phone call?
I will avoid talking on the phone at all costs. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. So I will text or email all day. See, part of it is it's not necessarily talking on the phone that I dislike. It's that I have to do it right now. You know, like if somebody calls me, it's like, okay, I might be right in the middle of something. But if you text me, I can finish my row and put my work down and then text you back, you know? So yeah, text or email all day.
It's just such a different world because like growing up, you know, I was in that age where for most of my childhood until I was like 16, we didn't even have cell phones, you know?
Yeah,
And then when you first got your cell phone, you didn't have text messaging and then
right.
you had to pay per text message. So my
Yeah.
parents were like, no, you're not doing that. So it's definitely been a transition over time. And I don't know how people did it when phone call was like their only thing to do.
Yeah,
Because
and that reminds me, speaking of how, you know, how it used to be, I remember when I was a kid, my grandma, she lived in Iowa, we live in Kansas, and she would always call us before 7 a.m. because that's when the long distance was like free or the cheapest, you know? And so like it's 6:30 in the morning, your grandma wants to talk to you. I'm like, no, you know? Yeah.
Well, with cell phones, it was nights and weekends. After 9 o'clock, you had 3 minutes or whatever. Like it didn't count because it was the free nights and weekends. And so my parents were like, yep, you can only call then.
Yeah.
So
And now it's unlimited everything, basically.
yeah. I definitely agree with the whole text message, email, because you can just do it while you're thinking of it. I don't have to call and like wait for you to pick up or like not pick up. And then I have to remember what I was going to tell you. Or
and then I have a message and I'm always like, that doesn't come out right. Yeah, definitely text.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for playing the little game with us.
Yeah,
It's
it was
been
fun.
super fun getting to know more about you. We're going to be putting all the links in the descriptions. If we put them in now, they go away. So we do it after the live is over. We're going to link to Ashlea's website where you'll be able to find everything about her and all of her social media links. Is there a best social media platform for you if they're going to pick one?
I would think Facebook.
Okay.
I try to be on my Instagram, but I just don't think about it as much, you know?
Yeah.
So I try. Facebook.
It's a process.
Yep.
But you'll be able to get that link there. You'll be able to see what's going on. Sign up for her email newsletter so that you can stay in the loop. I know I get my emails from her and it's always telling me when new patterns are coming out and things so you don't miss it, which is wonderful. Make sure to check her out on YouTube so you can see her podcast that comes out. I forgot to look. Is there one this week?
Tomorrow. It's tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay. So you can go on and wish her a happy birthday in the comments. Just remind me.
I was going to tell you, I'm hanging on to my 30s with both hands right now.
Yes, we're narrowly closing in on the end of 30s and, you know.
Which is great. I'm not upset about it at all.
Great.
You know, feeling good.
It's not that I'm sad to be, you know, on my way to 40 or anything like that, but it's just a weird thing to think about. Like, I distinctly remember in high school, my senior year on the basketball team, my coach turned 25 and we thought she was so old. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she was amazing.
Too hard.
It's all about perception, right?
Exactly.
But yeah, make sure you check out her YouTube channel. Make sure you're coming back here, checking us out on YouTube and Facebook, and sign up for our newsletter so you can see who our next designer feature is. We're so excited to get to do this series and be able to share with you all these wonderful designers and have them come with. We love working with them. We hope that we are a great partner for them as well, because I don't know. I would be very sad. This is my favorite part of my job is getting to talk with designers like you and the community and everything else. So thank you so much for giving us your time and joining us. And I think we're not back here until next Wednesday. No, we're not here next Wednesday. There's nothing next week. We are taking a break. We're not regrouping, but we're doing some planning. So we decided to take a week off just so that we can do some planning. And then we'll be back full force the following week with a lot of new things coming up. So thank you again. I'm just trying to read
me. That was fun.
These comments. Oh, yes. Sorry, we got to just talk about this real quick. The only problem with written communication is reading intent.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or the tone of your voice.
Yeah. We get that too. Oh, and Chris is reminiscing with you about her grandmother who used to call from New Jersey to California and wondered why her dad wasn't at work. because there's a lot of time difference there, people. But so
Mhm.
yeah, this was so much fun. Thank you to everybody for playing along with us and sharing your answers as well. And we will see you in 2 weeks. Thanks so much,
Okay,
Ashley.
thanks.
Bye.